Hi, lady. What do you want to say to the camera? Anything? Okay. So, my interview with Angel is about theater. It's about a little bit about politics. It's about his plans for school and his career, and it's a lot of fun. Dougie watched it and he liked it a lot.
He gives it a thumbs up.
Yeah, thumbs up. Two or one? Hey, wait, he doesn't even have thumbs.
He has no thumbs, but if he had thumbs, he'd give it 2 thumbs up.
Yes, so I hope you enjoy it and love it and like it and subscribe to us.
Us.
Yeah, that's me.
Sure. Alright, my camera is a little busted. Let me see what's up. I know that looks kind of blurry. That cleared up. Okay, perfect.
Oh, that's better. Man,
For
it's
sure.
good again.
It's good to see you too, bro. How are you?
I'm doing great. I just had a day of work, and that's it. Now I'm
sure.
talking to you. It's nice. How about you?
I just turned in one of my finals. That's why I needed the extra 10 minutes. My bad. It's my little finals week for summer session 2 right now.
All good.
And then I got one more left that's gonna be due tomorrow. So I've been doing a little of this and then a little tomorrow. So I'll be fine.
You're still in summer session?
It's last week.
Oh, okay. I was like, man, it's
Yeah.
here, but okay.
Yeah, it's last week, and then we don't start until October 1st for fall this year.
Really?
Yeah, they pushed it back. I don't know why.
Oh man, is this your last year?
5th year, yeah, last year.
5th year. It's all good. I did 5 years too, so I get
Okay. Woo, 5th years, man.
it. Oh man, so you have a mic and everything. That's awesome.
Yes, I have my mic and everything. I still
Yeah.
do my music stuff, so I have my little studio right here at home.
Oh yeah, that's true. Where are you at right now?
Long Beach. I'm up here at my mom's house for right now for the summer, and for the foreseeable future until this COVID thing.
I see.
Why am I gonna pay rent if I don't have to?
Seriously, I know. Honestly, I was considering moving back in with parents too. I mean, me and my
Yeah.
girlfriend, just because like we don't know what the future holds, and
Exactly.
you got to kind of save a bit.
Yeah, and then I'm hoping to go to grad school after this year. So those application fees, everything's gonna be costly. So I'm like, I can save as much money as I need right now.
What are you going for?
So I basically have it narrowed down to 3 tracks. I'm just gonna shoot my shots and see where they lay. So top choice is either gonna be in theater. So I'm gonna go for MFA in acting or MFA in playwriting.
Nice.
Second choice, I'm gonna be doing something in like either history or ethnic studies,
Mm.
regarding like Latin America or like U.S. Southwest activism, resistance, like things like that. Or the last thing would be going into education, so be a teacher. I still want
Nice.
to be a teacher at some point. I want to be a professor, hopefully. So
Yeah, I think that's why you and I get along so well. Is like those are like my 3 favorite things too. Like I
yeah,
love theater. I'm a teacher right now, and then
I know.
into history. Yeah. So why? I feel like those 3 all relate to you in some way, like your passions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know. I never saw myself getting locked into like a 9 to 5 corporate job. Like I told myself, like this is something like it's a little cryptic, but my mom used to tell me this growing up. Like you never know when you're gonna wake up. Then when's the next day you're not gonna wake up or whatever. So why am I gonna spend my life doing maybe one thing and have all these other things that are wasted?
Mm.
So as soon as I got to college, I'm like, okay, I want to do everything. So why not? That's only gonna do one chance at this, right? So that's
Yeah.
why I have my double major in history and theater, and I'm double minoring in Chicano studies and African American studies. Because I'm just like, why the fuck not? I don't know where my shots are gonna land after like this year, but I'm going for it, and wherever it lays, I did something with that at least.
Exactly. And I think at UCSD especially, it's kind of sad how much they try to get rid of humanities and the STEM. And so I feel like it sort of feels shitty because there's some schools that love humanities and like are putting money into it and research, not too many, but there are. And then I know UCSD doesn't so much, but it's funny. Do you have a LinkedIn by any chance?
I haven't even made one yet. To be honest, I know I should be making one, but
Honestly, like I made it, but like I go on there to make not to make fun, but to kind of like laugh at what other people from my high school and college are doing now. And it's like so many people, so many people, like they got their tie on, they're smiling. I actually just posted a picture like that today, right? But they're all like cute and like institutionalized. And they're working on a supply chain. So they're like, I'm a manager for a supply chain for light bulbs. So like I figure out how to get the light bulbs from one place to the other. And I'm like, man, I thought you were cooler than that. Like,
Yeah,
like, it's
honestly. Yeah, earlier this summer I was working. I worked my first warehouse job. I was literally just unloading and loading pallets, like 8 hours a day, just work, and it was like so menial. I had no idea how to, I felt like I felt like I even lost a little bit of myself walking in there every day. Like you just become a part of the machine. Like it's so tragic. And I was like, okay. After like 3 weeks, I was like, yeah, I paid off the bills I needed to pay for this month. I'm done with this. Like fuck that. Like,
yeah. Well, I think there's a huge difference between like a warehouse worker and somebody who's privileged who chooses to be a manager of that.
Oh, that's true.
Like I feel like being a warehouse worker, like nobody really wants to do that. It's like
nobody
money, right? Like but the shitty thing is the people who are really chill like in college and high school, but they don't find a passion and go for it, they end up being the manager for those people in some shape or form.
It's true.
So I kind of like, it's just, especially now, actually, like I know I was saying I was laughing at people, but I know now it's really hard to get a job, even if you're like a white collar worker, I think in general.
Yeah.
A blue collar worker. Like, it's really fucking sad. I know there's a lot of people that I know that are white collar workers that are actually going, they like graduated, they have student debt, and they're going and now working like at a warehouse or like working at all these other places that like their education didn't really push them to where they wanted to go. And I think that's sort of like tragic.
Yeah. Honestly, that's why I don't think I'm done with education. Like I want to keep going. Like I like to learn. Like I know it sounds kind of like I don't know, corny or whatever, but like I don't know, school was always like the thing that kept me going. I'm just like, okay, there's more shit to learn. I don't know everything yet. Why not keep learning more? And so like if that gets me to grad school, PhD eventually, wherever, like at least I'll be in school. That's something that's gonna keep me going, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I'm really impressed by you also, just the way that you are always trying to learn in different ways too. Like you went to Guatemala. Like when did you go there? You went there in like
I went there twice. I went twice. Once in 2018 of November. That was November 2018, and one time in February 2019.
So what did you do there? I was
So that was my first time going to the country. The first time I went with my mom. So it was me and her first time. We used to travel a lot when I was younger. That's one of the things I was really privileged of having. My mom was a teacher, and so she used to have like all the other teachers from the school used to do like, oh, there's a group travel vacation deal like this year. So all the teachers would go together on a trip, and mom would take me. So I got to travel a lot as a kid. So this time I had some money. I'd been working 2 jobs at that point. So I was like, Mom, let's go to Guatemala. I want to take you somewhere finally. So we went. And it was kind of just learning. I wanted to do like a history thing. Like that's what I'm a history buff, so that's kind of what I was doing. I was like, we went to the main city to do like the colonial city. We did a couple historical tours. I specifically wanted to support the indigenous woman while I was there. So I have it over there. It's somewhere in one of my closets. But we went to this fabric weaving collective of women on one of the cities, and then I bought their most expensive jacket because I was like, thing is beautiful. I'm not gonna. It's a one of one. I'm never gonna find it anywhere else. And yeah, like it was money for me, but like that's like a whole month of like subsistence for them. And of course, I would want to do that, you know. Or my mom used to. So my mom she immigrated from Mexico. So we were one time in the plaza over in Guatemala, and she sees the little girls coming up to her selling, oh, buy some chicle, buy some roses, buy something. And she's like, that was me 45, 50 years ago. And
wow.
you just and she's from Mexico. So you see the same exact thing happening in Guatemala pretty much across Latin America.
Yeah.
And it was just an experience to just really see like another side of, you know, just besides Mexico, because I had really wanted to explore more.
What I know it's so different from life, like especially in SoCal, but like what would you say to people who have never really traveled out of the country, especially to like Latin America? What's like a stark difference that you notice?
The people, everybody recognizes you there. In terms of here in the US, I think we're very good at dehumanizing and very good at like, I don't talk to my neighbors. I'm very much in my life. there you see the culture, how the people just they interact, they need each other, and it's like the society they have built. When here in the U.S. it's like there is none of that. Like we are so thought to be independent, but we're really just not willing to accept that we're like dependent on each other. So that's like the stark difference I see.
I've noticed that. It's like we're more capitalist almost. Each person is more capitalist in the United States, and I think we buy into that system because it's benefited so much. But we also don't see the terrible aspects of it. Then normally it's because it's exported now to other countries. Whereas I think a lot of people, especially again in Latin America, they have lives that are a lot more, I'd say, arduous than people here. Like they have to work more and more. There's more dire circumstances, but they know how to have a community. Like they know how to love each other and actually be there for each other.
One thing I also did notice is that there's a lot of the same international issues that we look at. People think that people in third world countries aren't looking at those issues, but they're still just as much affected, and they're still looking at them. So, for example, in Guatemala, there was a big difference on the pro-Israel versus pro-Palestine. And that's something I would have never thought of. But then I realized that Guatemala was the final vote on whether Israel was going to become a nation or not. So that is a very, so they were the final vote on that committee.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's something I learned down there on the historical tours. So that like the sentiment is still very much in the people. Like you see little Israeli flags kind of painted on some convenience stores. And like when you're driving down, you see little Israeli flags, but you're in Guatemala, you know, but the loyalty of that old historical knowledge is still there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fascinating. What other historical sites did you see? I don't honestly know that much about historical sites.
So I went to the city of Antigua, which was the capital of the Spanish Empire for the longest time while they were here in Latin America. And then they moved down to another city. But I saw that old city. It's complete, like like the buildings, the architecture, cobblestone streets. It's like a jump back in time, literally. Yeah. Everything is still so, well, what's it called? Not dated, but it's in its time. It stayed in its time period in terms of the way it felt and looked. And then it's like a UNESCO World Heritage Site, so everything's gonna stay the same. It's not gonna change. And it was interesting. They said they had a lot of like, even though you would see like hotels and things of that, you saw a lot of like community-based stuff that was still popping off. So for example, I took a cooking class that was taught by a woman that was just like, oh, I wanted to just start cooking so I can make some extra money. And so she would charge people like $100 to teach them how to make a Guatemalan meal for themselves. So that's like something I did. And I was like, only I would have found that if I hadn't asked the lady at the front of my hotel, like, I don't want to take any of the big tours. What's something small you recommend? You know, something like that. So it's like, that was one of the beautiful cities. And besides that, the Lake of Atitlan, which is the biggest lake in Latin America. It's actually the biggest lake in all of the Western Hemisphere. So it was beautiful.
Yeah, there's a lot of mountains there. Did you go like
mountains
or anything like that?
I didn't go hiking, but on the lake, you're surrounded by mountains, like all of them. So it was beautiful to see those over the sunrises and the sunsets over those.
Yeah, that's so cool, man.
Yeah,
I've been wanting to ask you this. That's Big Sean, right? Is that?
Yes, that is. He just dropped his album today. The Dawn hat. I'm very surprised you know that. Very good. Yeah, it's dope, dude. Yeah. I'm wearing my Big Sean shoes right now too, so like I'm a big fan.
Wait, can I see? Is that weird?
Yeah, sure. No, that's fine. I have like 4 pairs of his shoes, to be honest.
Yeah.
I have these ones. They're the Pumas. They have his signature. I don't know if you can see it right there.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's like the Detroit logo on the front and everything. So.
Yeah. What's your favorite song on the album?
Favorite song I did my first listen through, and Zen the Fuck Out, I think, is like my poppin' one, like so far. Like I'm just like, I had that one on repeat a couple times in the car.
Yeah.
It's just so perfect. It's just like Zen the Fuck Out. Yeah, no, that's. What about you, man? And Deep Reverence. Deep Reverence is like perfect. Like I'm so happy he had a Nipsey collaboration. And all the storytelling, like the Chappelle one, the Erykah Badu one, and the Stevie Wonder one, like they were all amazing.
Oh my God, those were incredible. Like, yeah, it was so cool to hear Erykah Badu just talk. I've actually never heard
I know.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. You need to watch some of her interviews, dude. Some of her interviews can be like, you get lost in her voice. Like it's
Man, you gotta send me some stuff because like I gotta get high and just like watch this stuff. Do you ever watch like interviews and shit like that while high and you're like, oh my god, this person?
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen GGN, Snoop Dogg's interview show? Yeah, you watch those. Yeah, like the full interview, just have a couple of your favorite people you want to look up and have Snoop interview them, and it's pretty fun.
Oh my god. Yeah. I was like, on Big Sean's new album, I really like Feed. And then I like dude, that Friday Night Cypher is sick though. Because it's like all
the 9 minutes. Oh my goodness. It's
they
so
all
perfect.
go insane too. Like they're all amazing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
it reminded me kind of the Dreamville album for a little bit. The one that Revenge of the Dreamers, like that was like the vibe I got. I'm like, damn, the collaboration aspect is going crazy nowadays. Like,
yeah, I know. That's pretty brave, like putting out that long of a song too. It's usually like stuff out that long. But are you voting for Biden? Really?
No. I'm not. No. I like how you just switched so quickly, like boom. We're voting for Biden. I'm not. Unfortunately.
Yeah. Why not? Yeah.
I'm not gonna say unfortunately. I'm not. Cut that unfortunately out.
Yeah. Well, I know you got to go in a bit, so I wanted to get through everything I wanted to talk with you about.
For sure.
And I know this conversation's been fucking played out since 2016, probably before that too, right? Like, how dare you not vote for the Democratic nominee? But if you could put into your own words, I'd like to ask everyone this, but in your own words, why are you not voting for him?
I believe that the purpose of an election is to vote for who you think will best represent you. I don't trust Trump. I don't trust Biden. I definitely don't trust Kamala Harris, especially not. And I know the Democratic and Republican parties are two pieces of the same cloth. They're just cut down the middle. And that's the same. That's the end goal. I really think that if we want to see a system, I'm not going to say the system that we have right now, I'm saying a system that works for us, we cannot use the tools of the current system in order to dismantle it. So you can't work your way through it if you want to, because it's only meant to support itself. It's not meant to take each other down. So the justice system is a joke. We all know it. DAs, police, all the way from top to bottom, there's corruption no matter what. Government corruption no matter what. So we can't expect them to do anything, no matter who's in presidency right now, who's not, who's in the office or not. It's just going to be a game of back and forth trying to play us as pawns, saying, hey, we're going to give you this much. Oh, maybe we're in office this time. Now we're going back and forth, but it's still just going to be the long-term goal of what they want.
Yeah.
I'm going to vote for who I think has the best policies, for who I think is going to be best representative of what the type of country I want to see, because that's the only thing that we have available at this moment, besides our independent organizing and stuff of that nature. So we'll see. I haven't done my policy research yet, but I know it's not going to be Kamala for sure, and it's not going to be Trump. So
yeah, I know labels are kind of shitty in a way, but would you label yourself as a socialist?
I don't really call myself anything, because I feel like it's too like, if I call myself a socialist, they're like, oh, and then what about all these things about socialism? And you're right, socialism isn't perfect at all. So same reason I don't call myself a communist or an anarchist or anything of the nature. It's just like I pull from where I need to, you know.
Are you friends with people that consider themselves like anarchists? I'm actually really curious.
I've known a couple anarchists, but I don't really talk to them or hang out with them anymore. It's a very interesting perspective, and I recognize what they want, you know. So it's cool. Yeah. Everybody has a perspective.
Because I don't know your friend group or like who you hang out with too much, but like, are they like politically inclined or are they not so much? Sorry, I don't know if something happened.
No, that's just I have my kittens in here and there's a cat outside like fighting with my kittens. Anyways,
oh,
that's fine.
Okay.
But they're like through the door. You know what I mean? That's like they're just like yeah, they're fine. But sorry, like, what was it?
What's your network like? What are your friends like? I'm actually really curious.
To be honest, I don't really kick it with nobody. I don't really fuck like I'm like, I don't mean to call Dick Sean, but I don't really fuck with anybody like that, because I have a lot of time trying to invest into myself, and then I spend time with my partner, and that's like I have my school stuff. So like I really do that. Whenever I get creative things, so like I reach out to you or I reach out to Praveen. So you like I talk to Praveen a lot. Besides that, it's kind of just like I have people I know that I will reach out to and things like that. But I don't really kick it with nobody or nothing like that.
Dude, I'm the same way. Like I don't know the last time I like chilled or like kicked it with anyone. Like I talk to people all the time, but it's like kind of, I don't know. It's for a project or something, kind of like what you're talking about. Getting into projects, I wanted to ask you about what are you up to in terms of like theater and art? Are you working on anything?
Yes. Yeah. So, you know Praveen's work, Take Back Graffiti Hall. Mm-hmm. I'm directing it this winter, so I'll be putting that up. So this is gonna be the 4th time I've done it already. This is gonna be my first time directing it. I'm gonna be starring in it again, so I'm gonna be a little selfish with it, but I'm gonna star in it as well. I'm probably gonna audition for there's a play going up in fall, one of the theater productions. I forgot what it was called, but I learned about it in Jade's class, the Chicano Dramatic Literature, and so it's a Chicano play. So I'm gonna audition for it. We'll see if I get it. If not, I'll just be working on my full-length play that I still need to finish up.
Is that the one that you already? No, it's not the one that you.
Miseritos, no. So that was my one act, and so we'll see. What I was thinking is if I don't get into the production for the department in fall, I'll just put Miseritos up as an actual production instead of the reading like last time.
Could you talk a little bit about Miseritos, like what it's about?
Yeah. So Miseritos is a story of a girl. Her name is Guadalupe. People call her Lupita. And it's the story of her growth from the time that her father was taken in the middle of the night by ICE agents and was deported, all the way until the point where she loses her brother to police violence. So it's the journey of her life in these 2 months. She's coming into herself. She's growing as not only as a woman, but as an artist and as just a person in terms of like her way of thinking and viewing the world. So we talk about racism, we talk about police violence, we talk about police brutality, we talk about the fucked up state, and there's rap elements, there's music in it, there's poetry in it. So it's a pretty all-encompassing one act, and
yeah. Man, you're a genius. Honestly, you're a genius. Like the show I saw, I was there, man. No, you're great. And then the Odyssey. When I saw you rap in the Odyssey,
oh yeah, the Odyssey,
that was sick.
I really forgot I did that one for 2 seconds. Thank you for reminding me.
When I first saw you, and I was like, damn, this guy is like a great rapper, and he's like got that stage presence. But are you doing anything in terms of music right now?
Music, the final project I just submitted was actually a song that I wrote. So that was on Pacific. I wrote a song on U.S. militarism in the Pacific.
Oh shit.
For my class. So I can send that to you if you want. I'm not gonna post it anywhere, but I'll send it to you if you want. And then I've been like, if you've seen my Spotify, I had like that last song I posted was like Conversations in the Mirror. And then I have the EP ready. I just need to record it. I have all the artwork and everything ready too, so I just need to get to it. But like I said, I was working 2 jobs, and then I got all this school stuff until right now this week, and then I was just kind of busy, so I haven't really done anything music-wise. I'm really hopping back into my writing, but I just haven't made anything.
Who are your inspirations for art and music?
For art and music, let's do music first. I could do in terms of music, I listen to a lot of old music, things you wouldn't expect. So I'm a really big Motown 60s fan. I listen to jazz from the 50s, so Louis Armstrong and like all these old great trumpet players and horn players, and like that's like a big influence in just terms of like it's different. You don't hear music like that anymore. Like it was of its era and of its time, so you don't hear it in the present day anymore. And if you try to make it in the present day, it won't sound the same. So that's why I listen to that. And I grew up with it. That's what my parents listened to when I was in the house. And then in terms of hip hop, so my cousins, like obviously like the old school, like West Coast, like Snoop Dogg, Tupac, Ice Cube, all that music I grew up listening to with my cousins. And that was the basis for like my rap stuff. And then, a couple things what I would hear on the radio here and there, but I really kind of developed from like that storytelling rap that I kind of, when I got older and started investing myself into music, I would look for those things. So that's why I got into J. Cole. That's why I got into Big Sean. People say he's corny, but that's why I got into Logic. That's how I was saying, Big Sean, Logic, J. Cole. A lot of female artists that have inspired me but I feel like I haven't done my part to listen to them in depth. So I love Ms. Lauryn Hill. Like her and the Fugees, like she did such amazing things for rap. And then like when I think about like rappers like No Name, so like the new age rap that continues the legacy of, it's not just, you know, I love Cardi B, and I love, no, actually I don't love Cardi B. Let me scratch that. I love Megan, and I can tolerate Cardi sometimes. But like I see what they bring to the table, and they're contributing in their own way. But for me personally, what I like to hear is, I still like hearing that storytelling, that deep thought that's actually going on. So you know what I mean? That's what I gravitate to. Not meaning to trash any of the other music that comes out too, because I can still catch a vibe at a party. You know, I can still bump out to whatever like lit shit's coming out.
For
So
sure.
it's fine.
Have you seen Midnight Gospel by any chance?
No, I've never even heard of it. Let me write this down. What is it?
Midnight Gospel. Oh, it's not even an album, but it's like a TV show, right? So
For real? Okay.
but it's like something you have to watch when you're high. Like
Okay.
it's
Midnight
really
Gospel.
fucking deep and talks about like mental health and shit. But the visuals are like trippy, like kind of like Adventure Time, like
Oh shit.
absurdist, but like amazing.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I just try to spread the word about that because it's really chill. I don't know if you have Netflix, but
I don't, but I have a girlfriend, so I'll ask her.
there you go. But yeah, is there anything else that you've been working on, or I mean, that's already a lot.
Yeah. I was like doing some editing to like Miseritos recently. I added a new scene in and things like that. So just touching up. I wrote a little side piece for class. It was a little bit less than a one act, but maybe it could be a second act to Miseritos basically.
Yeah.
But it's not really. It's just in the same world as Miseritos, if that makes sense. So Guadalupe Lupita makes an appearance in it, but it's not in the same time frame. It's not in the same like storyline. It's in the same world, if that makes sense. I was thinking about like I should do that as like a full length or something, but I haven't really thought about it. But that's something I was working on the other day.
What's it about?
So that one's called Con Papelitos No, and it's a story about this kid. What is his name? His name is also Junior. So as the same as Lupita's brother. But it's not the same person. And his brother is locked up in prison, and Junior's working a construction job, and he's like a writer. And so it's just going through the day. His brother calls him in the morning, says, well, he's in jail, and so it's through the telephone link and whatever. And he's like, oh, hey man, like I need a couple bucks in there, blah blah blah. I'll see what I can do. I'll see if I get paid today. Goes to work, goes through his day. At the end of the night, he ends up on his brother's recommendation going to this open mic, and outside the open mic, he gets hassled by the police, gets tased up, and then the community comes out. Community comes out and stops because the open mic's right in the middle of the barrio, and so you see one police officer, and then for the first time, you see instead of a bunch of phones, you see everything else. You see people with their rocks, you see people with their sticks, you see people coming out with theirs. You know, if people want the Second Amendment, fucking come out with your guns too, because we're not gonna let one of our community members get hurt anymore. Yeah. So that was a different perspective that follows after Mis Escritos. So in Mis Escritos, at the end of the play, Lupita's calling for people to rise up, like no more killings, and that's exactly what you see in Los Papelitos No. And then
it's exactly what you see in the world right now, actually.
Exactly. So that ties together, and then he goes to the open mic. It's like $100 competition. He goes up there, he spits something, he wins, and takes the 100, deposits all to his brother onto the next day.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
yeah,
I'm trying to see if I can tie that into a full length. You know what I mean? But I don't know if I can, because it's like two different world. Like it's two different stories, but in the same world. So I don't know how to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's really interesting how your shows are always a call to action. And would you what do you think of looters and rioters? Do you see them as those anarchists that need to be imprisoned? I don't think so, but
depends. What media source are you talking about? First of all, because anybody can be behind those masks, and it's not behind the police to put them on themselves and go destroy some shit. It's not behind them to put bricks on the streets right before a protest is gonna happen in order to start inciting violence itself.
Yeah,
and there's always gonna be people that go and take advantage.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, what is there? The movement. The movement is there, and that's what we need to be focusing on. Honestly, if some fucking Louis Vuitton fucking store, some big ass corporation get hit, so what? It doesn't affect those people's paychecks. They're gonna go back to work the next day. On the lower end, it's not gonna affect anybody but the company itself.
Mm-hmm.
You want to fight for a company that's not gonna replace you? That would replace you in 2 seconds if you didn't show up to work one day? No, let them take it. Stop hurting the black and brown owned businesses, please. The small businesses. That's what we need. We need to be sending people to protect those businesses, and fuck it, send the looters down to downtown, to the mall, wherever else. Like, go to those areas and hit the gentrified restaurants that came into our neighborhoods. Why not do those instead of the ones that have been here for generations? You know?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm not saying go and do it. I'm saying if you're gonna do it right.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people, at least in Los Angeles, have been doing it right, because like they go into Beverly Hills and they like destroyed parts of Beverly Hills, and it was
so
honestly, like, I like to see it. I don't mind it.
I don't mind it.
Yeah. But thank you so much for coming on and talking to me. I wanted to ask,
of course,
if people want to hear more about your projects or see what you're up to, can they find you anywhere?
Yeah, so in terms of music wise, I'm on Spotify. So my name is Casper on there. So it's CASP3R, so a 3 instead of an E. I'm on a podcast. I did a podcast maybe a year ago. It's called the Officially Outed Podcast. And so you can find that on there. I think my podcast is like the number 1 on their whole thing. And it's like just hit 1,000 streams or something like that. So go check that one out. Mm-hmm. And then besides that, look for me on Facebook. I'm the one that has the Welcome to America picture on there. And yeah, man, that's what I do. And my theater pieces, I'll be coming out and be posting those on my Facebook and stuff like that. So
incredible. Yeah, I'll post everything in the video description. Thank you so much for like just coming on, chatting. It's always great to hear from you, Angel. You're an inspiration, you know that? Like everything.
Thank you, Johnny. I appreciate that, man.
Well, thank you. Take care.
All right, it was good talking to you, Johnny. I'll talk to you later.
Awesome. Bye.
Bye.